by another edition of the Massachusetts Beer Reviews channel of YouTube. I'm Thomas Metal 75, and this is your Massachusetts Beer Review. And today I'm drinking a beer, a Canadian light pilsner that was introduced in 1983. This is the Labatt Blue Light. And hopefully this isn't backwards on the camera, but it may look that way. Damn. So this beer, again, was introduced in 1983. It has 4% alcohol by volume, 112 calories, and 7.9 grams of carbs. 7.9 grams of carbs. It is brewed with Cascade hops. That is a interesting factoid. So maybe on paper we have somewhat of a hoppier flavor to the beer. This is Labatt, imported by Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. Trademark of Labatt Brewing Company, Ltd. Product of Canada. They are from Toronto, Canada. The 15-pack that I acquired cost me about $13.99 before tax, so I said why not. I'm also looking for a different, regular lager beer to try. I'm going to put it in my Samuel Adams. I'm going to put this in my taster glass from the Anheuser-Busch Brewery. I was there a couple of years ago, and in Merrimack, New Hampshire, I got the glass. It has an etching on the bottom, so it will produce and keep that nice carbonation. Well, it won't produce carbonation, it'll keep the carbonation. It's an 11-ounce tasting glass, so really weird size. Alright. Let's get the blue light in the picture. So here's what Labatt Blue Ice looks like. Cheers, Turtle Man. It is definitely a golden yellow colored beer with lots of clarity. It is definitely filtered for damn sure. It's not your New England style IPA. And it's got a nice sudsy, foamy looking bright white head. Definitely has the cooked corn, the vegetal flavor, or the vegetal scent to this one. Very grassy, very earthy. Yeah, like grass clippings, like the outdoors. White bready malt sweetness. Not a whole hell of a lot to rant and rave about, but if I was blindfolded, I'd think it was either a Bud Light, a Miller Lite. Maybe not a Miller Lite, but I definitely would confuse it with Bud Light and or Coors Light in the nose. It smells like a typical keg beer, a typical American, or in this case, North American light lager. Pilsner. Let's try this one out. Labatt Blue Light. Cheers, everyone. First impressions of the beer is it has an extremely crisp but watery, very watery finish to it. It is almost like sucking on a Poland Spring bottle. Like carbonated Poland Spring, to be completely honest. But right before the beer really thins out, right before that, at the back of the palate is where I'm tasting any of these flavors, which is that corn. I've got to imagine there's some corn syrup going down in this one, being brewed with this one. So I'm getting that corn syrupy type sweetness to it, and I'm also getting not as much as in the original Labatt Blue, the big boy brother of this one, but I am getting some of that dirty grainy complexion to it, that wet cellar, that wet cardboardy kind of a grain to it. Not a giant amount of sweetness, to be completely honest. Not a giant amount of that white bready sweetness, but I am detecting that overall in the beer. Right in the back of the palate when it thins out, there's definitely a little bit of that corn syrup sheen to it, yeah. There is some Cascade hop. I would never really think of it unless I saw that. Yes, the Philadelphia Flyers do suck. The company that I work for does headwear and apparel. And I bought a mystery sweatshirt on their website, so this is what they gave me. There definitely is a little bit of the Cascade hop at the end, just for a brief moment to round out some sweetness. I think very nice idea with the hop, but hoppy flavor, no. Balancing purposes, can I taste the hops? Can I feel like for balancing purposes there is some hops in here? Yes. It's not a sweet mess, in other words. It's very crisp. Wow. It's very crisp. It's very clean. Extremely drinkable. You can crush these without problem. Or with problem if you're crushing a whole bunch of them. Then you want to go and do something outside your house. Don't. So, Beer Advocate's giving it a 55 out of 100. Do I think that that's a reasonable score? Not really. I think it's better beer than calling it awful. It definitely is one of the lighter lager beers you're ever going to drink. But I mean, it's at least a 70 minimally out of 100. It's just beer. There's nothing about this thing that screams wow. There's nothing about this that screams excellent or bad, really. It's just a thin, watery tasting beer. So if you're at the beer store like I was recently and you just want to buy just regular old beer, but you want something a little bit different, you don't mind the light lagers. Typically, I don't usually drink light lagers, but every now and then, a good macro-style lager beer is just perfectly acceptable and can be delicious in its own right when you're looking at it stylistically. But I think it's just beer. And stylistically, I don't think it gets very good. I don't think it's a very good light lager because it's a little bit too thin and watery and it doesn't have enough roundness to it for me. It doesn't have enough going on in it, but that's the nature of light lager sometimes. Yeah, 70 out of 100. So, this has been Labatt Blue Light. Cheers. And as I always say, until next time, keep tasting those great beers. Again, cheers, and we'll see all of you soon.